Hi guys, welcome back to Block My Milan channel. Today what I'm going to discuss about is mining. I'm going to discuss more about what is mining, how it works and why we need mining as well. So let's start with why we need mining. We need mining for two different things. One is to verify the transactions and the second one is to create new coins. So let's start with verify the transactions. Verifying the transaction in a centralized scenario like banks, what will happen is first bank will verify the accounts and then they'll be verify the balances and then they will be make the transactions. But in a scenario like decentralized like blockchain scenario, what will happen is there's no centralized party or authority to make these verifications. So for that we need a special nodes to do that one, and the nodes who are doing the mining work we call this as miners. The job of the miners is they need to verify the transactions and then they need to add that to the existing chain. So let's take the second scenario as create new coins. For example, if you take it as a country that run out of cash, what they'll be do is they'll be go to the central authority as a government and they'll be print new currencies. But in a scenario like Bitcoin chain, there'll be no central party or central authority to do this one. So there's no one to create new Bitcoins. So how the new Bitcoins will be created? So the new Bitcoins will be created by the help of mining. For example, if there's a node that doing the mining work means they'll be put so much of computation power. We'll see the next slides how they'll put that computation power. For now we can take it as they need to put so much of computation power, and for that they need some rewards. For the reward, the Bitcoin network will provide them as new Bitcoins. So the new Bitcoins will be created in that point and given as a reward to the miners. So this is how the new Bitcoins will be created and circulated into the network. Let's see how mining works. We can take it as a 4 nodes like Bob, Alice, Steve and Mark in this network. To make it as a simple, I only took the 4 nodes in this network. So each and every node will have the same state of the blockchain, and then for a scenario Alice need to transfer some money to Steve. So if Alice need to transfer some money to Steve, that transaction will be published to the network and there will be all the other nodes will becomes as miners. So there's no restrictions how many nodes comes as a miners or how many nodes can't come as miners. So any nodes, even you and me also can join as miners and we can do the mining work as well. So once the miner work comes, let's see how the mining works. So let's see how mining works. I'm taking as a only scenario as Bob as a miner here, and miner will always receive one hash. This hash will contain some different stuffs like root hash, timestamps, and there will be other features as well. I will be do a video in the future to explain about what is inside this hash and what is inside these blocks as well. So for now, just take it as a one hash will be received by the blob as well as he will be receiving nonce. So this nonce is an iterative number that will be used to iterate to create a hash. So there's another feature that will be received by Bob and all the other miners as well, that is called expected output. So this is the output that need to be created by the mining process to put it as a block inside the chain. So this is always this expected output will be in the Bitcoin network will be leading with 17 or 18 zeros. So how the mining will work is first Bob will get a hash and the nonce, and he will be append those two things and create a new string. Then he'll be hash that string. So this hash string we can take it as actual output, and this actual output need to be mapped and matched with the expected output. If it is not matched, Bob will goes back and he can't iterate anything, he can't do any changes in the hash, so he'll be iterate the nonce. So once he iterate the nonce, he'll becomes and append that with the hash and create a string and then hash that string. So still it's not matching. He'll be do iterations in the nonce until he finds the hash that leading with 17 or 18 zeros, and that's matched with the expected output. So for scenario like after 1000 times iterations, Bob finally found the nonce that he wants. So then he'll be comes and he'll be append that with the string as a hash, and then he'll be get a new string and then he'll hash that string. So that hash string will be, once it's matched with the expected output, that means the Bob find out the hash and mining was done. So Bob will goes back to his chain and he'll be append that block inside his chain, and then once it was added, he'll be publish that new block to the network. So then each and every nodes in the network will get that one and verify and add with their chains. So this is how the mining will happen and the block will be distributed. As we can see, Bob put so much of efforts and so much of computation power to the mining. So for that, Bob will receive as a 2 new Bitcoin. So currently it's going as 12.5 Bitcoins for each miner who are doing the mining and creating a new blocks. So for now, I'm putting as some Bitcoins he'll be receiving, as well as he'll be receive a fraction of the transaction amount fee that is very low from Alice, and then the Alice transaction will be moved to Steel. So as we can see, there will be so much of process going here as a mining process, and it will take so much of time and computation power. That's why it took so much of time to make the transactions in Bitcoins and Ethereums. Normally Bitcoins will take around 30 to 60 minutes to make some transactions, as well as Ethereum will take around 10 to 15 minutes, because they need to do the mining, they need to do iterations, and they need to process, and then they need to add that as a block, distribute to the whole network, and that need to be added with all the nodes as well. So here we need to think about another scenario as well, as I only showed the scenario that Bob doing the mining, but in a real scenario there will be so many of the nodes that will be act as a miners, and they will be mined the same block. So how the reward will go was the one who first finds the hash and then add that to their chains and publish to the node will get the reward. So the one who are finding the first will comes as a winner, and the ones who are not find that one will be stop their works once someone was published to the network that they find the hash. Evolution of miners. So the mining process started with desktop machines. In 2009, 2010, everyone used their desktop machines to do this mining process, but later the growth of the Bitcoin network moved everyone to the graphics cards. And then it comes program chips. Because as I mentioned, it's always the time is the important thing in the mining, because who are the ones doing the mining first will get the reward as Bitcoin. So the ones who are coming last, there's no point, because they are putting so much of computation powers but they are not getting any rewards. So it's always needed to upgrade your systems. So they move to the program chips. So these chips are specially programmed for mining. And then now it comes as ASIC. ASIC is application specific integrated circuit chips. Those are specially programmed for Bitcoin mining and some cryptocurrency mining as well. So these will be do the mining process very fast compared to all top three. But the growth of the cryptocurrencies and coins in the recent scenarios, for example, if you take it as a Bitcoin, there will be so many new nodes and new miners joined to the system. These are the things will increase the computation power of the Bitcoin and computation power of each mining as well. So it's very difficult for a single person to do this mining. So what they did was they introduced new things called as mining pools, where there will be multiple miners work on the same problem as a team or a group, and they will be solve some part of those problems, and as a team or a group they will solve the whole problem. So what will happen was the mining effort and computation power will be divided into each miners, and they'll be do their parts only, and then finally end of the time they'll be solve the whole mining issue. So what will happen was if they get as a reward as a 4 Bitcoins, those Bitcoins will be shared among them as based on their effort and computation power they used for that mining process. So this is how the mining pools works. As I mentioned previously, there are so many mining pools around the world. For example, you can see in this image, Russia, India and China have mining pools hosted in their countries, and I think around 60 to 70% of the mining pools for the Bitcoin hosted in China. Mostly the mining pools are hosted in countries that are using renewable and green energies, because if you're doing the mining means you're using so much of computation power, and computation power requires so much of electricity. So if you're hosting those mining pools in the countries that are having high cost for the electricity, that is a bit of a disadvantage for you as well. So the mining pool companies that normally goes and hosted in these ones in the countries that are using renewable energies, so they can spend less for the energy that they're using, but they can earn more Bitcoins. As I mentioned, mining requires so much of electricity. You can see it is in this image. The countries that are marked in orange that are consuming less electricity than the electricity that used only for Bitcoin mining. It's only for Bitcoin and not for all the cryptocurrencies. So this is one of the disadvantages that mentioned by many of the people for if you take it as a Bitcoin or a blockchain scenario. But this electricity consumption issue will comes when only we are using consensus algorithm as proof of work. But if you are moving to the consensus algorithms like proof of stake, or there are different consensus algorithms around the world. For example, if you take it as a Stellar, it's a blockchain that using their own consensus algorithm as Stellar consensus protocol. So if you're using those different stuff, then the electricity consumption will be very low. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be doing so many videos in the future as well. So let's shoot out your questions and mention what are the videos you're looking for, so I can do those things as well. And if you like this video, please hit like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you.